Hi, this is Mike Anderson, your Government Affairs Chair and Vice President of NAMB. I'm here in Las Vegas for the NAMB West Convention. And it's interesting, I'm walking around town and I happened to run into a good friend of our industry, and that is Mr. Dave Stevens, with the President and CEO of the MBA. Dave, good to see you here.
Good to see you, Mike.
Yeah. And I have a couple questions for you, Dave.
Yeah.
We're hearing a lot about a lot of big players in the wholesale market. The latest one was Quicken and GMAC. What do you think the future is for the brokers?
Look, I've spoken to the brokers many times, and I think there's a great future for brokers. And it's the same thing I said at a conference when I was at the FHA Commissioner to all of you who were there. Brokers are the easiest, least expensive way to scale into a market. I'm absolutely convinced as we go through the next couple of years, we're going to see some of the big players who are overly invested in retail with brick and mortar and not high producing loan officers. They're going to be in a shrinkage mode. And what you will all benefit from is I think we'll see new entrants come into the space into the wholesale arena. So I think those who say this is the end of the broker are just dead wrong.
Right.
There's too much opportunity there. A lot of issues we've got to deal with. But I think there's a good future for brokers.
How's the MBA doing? I mean, is everything on track with the MBA? You're doing a great job, by the way.
It's a war. Come to Washington. By the way, this guy's doing a great job, so keep him around whatever you do. Mike Anderson.
Thank you, Dave.
But and by the way, the most effective voice for mortgage brokerage in Washington, D.C. I'm just saying. But all that being said, what I would suggest is that we're in a real pitch battle right now, and thinking about things like loan officer licensing, transitional licensing, and we got two issues we got to address just in that one area. One, we got to make sure that when you guys change firms, or if someone comes from a covered firm, a bank, and wants to move into the brokerage space, they can start work right away while they take time to pass tests. That's one critical thing. That's state by state, as you guys know. The other big issue is we got to change the federal law, and we've been talking to members in the House Financial Services Committee on the Republican and Democrat side, and we've got people who we think are willing to sponsor a bill. But whether we get full congressional approval is probably not likely over the next year. So we need to focus on transitional first. So, dealing with that, loan limits, future of the GSEs, servicing standards, servicing compensation, foreclosures, repurchase requirements. I mean, all of this stuff is critical.
You see anything easing in the future? You think we're going to slowly see it?
No, I think next year is going to be a free for all because we are in what we call in Washington the silly season. And by the way, if you're ever in D.C., just call it the silly season to a lobbyist or someone in town. They'll all nod their head because the silly season means it's a presidential election. It's the year of the election, and this year is going to be the most interesting one that probably any of us have ever experienced, just because of the interesting field on the Republican side and the real personal attacks that are going to come on all across the table. It's going to be a lot of dysfunction, and so we have to be prepared for all that. So I think next year is going to be tough.
What about a lot of the splinter groups? We're seeing a lot of people splinter off, and I think it's important that we stick to the MBA, the NAMB. I mean, you guys have been around for a long time.
Look, a lot of them serve good purposes. NAMB serves a great purpose. Brian Chappelle, Potomac Partners, he serves a real need to his members. I think in the end of the day, having too many trade groups representing one industry really becomes confusing to members of the Hill. When I worked for the administration, and people in the White House will say it today, and they call me when they're talking about policy, they'll say, Dave, please, can you guys come back with just one answer? And that's the difficult thing. So coming back with as strong singular voice as possible is the most important thing. And at the end of the day, as long as we're fighting for what's right in mortgage finance, and we're not picking winners or losers. So you don't pick big guys, small guys, depositories, independents, brokers, bankers. You just fight to make sure that there's a wide and diverse market for everybody. We're going to have a good industry going forward, and that's where we can all come together.
Super. All right. Hey, Dave, thank you very much.
Wish I could be there with you.
Yeah, that'd be great.
And I hope you have a great conference.
Thanks, Dave. Thanks, everybody. Great to have you here.